Hi everyone. In this video we are going to um, review a little bit about orders of operation and how we can also identify some errors that um, through some work. So as a review, order of operations, there's actually only 4 of them. Many people may remember this idea of PEMDAS, but it actually might be a little more confusing than just PEMDAS, because although parentheses and exponents are first, multiplication and division have of equal weight, and so it's not that multiplication happens before division, it's just whichever one comes first when you read from left to right. This is the same thing with also addition and subtraction. So if we look at these two examples, we have 2 minus 3 plus 4 times 5. So the multiplication comes first, which is stated here, and then we're going to subtract, and then we're going to add. Likewise, in this one, we're going to do parentheses or addition first, then the multiplication, even though it's thrown back there in the back, and then lastly, we're going to subtract. So we can either say parentheses, or we can just say addition. So instead of writing addition, we could write parentheses. So if we look at this one in this first problem, we have some grouping symbols, we have parentheses, we have some exponents, we have some multiplication, we have subtraction, addition, and division all there. So the first thing we want to write is we want to look at those parentheses. So we can either write parentheses or we can write addition. The next thing is exponents. And then now we have multiplication and division. So in this case, multiplication is coming first, and then the division is coming second in terms of left to right. So we have multiplication, and we have division. And then lastly, we do have subtraction and addition. So this time subtraction is coming before addition and left to right. So we would write subtraction and addition. And then for the second one, you guys will work with your team to work together on that second one. So now if we look at the next group of problems, we want to put in parentheses so that we have this value, what the expression on the left-hand side is equal to the value on the right-hand side. And this is called a truth value. So I'm going to just do 2 of these problems. I'm going to do this one that's in the middle in this first row. And currently, if we were to simplify this, we would have 9, and then we're going to do the division. So 6 divided by 3 is 2 minus 1, and then we can add and subtract here. So 9 plus 2 is 11 minus 1, which is 10, which is not equal to 12. So we know that this is not what's working for us. All right, so we're going to erase that. And we're going to figure out where we need to put parentheses. So I'm going to, seems like Word has stopped on me for just a moment. Okay, so I'm going to put in parentheses. Let's see, if I already know division would happen first, so maybe if I make 9 and 6, if we add first and then divide by 3, so if we put in parentheses here, 9 and 6, that would force this to be 15 divided by 3 minus 1, and that's 5 minus 1, which is 4, which is not equal to 12. So we got to try again. So we'll erase this. And maybe we need to put in parentheses and make the subtraction happen first. So now we have 9 plus 6 divided by 3 minus 1 is 2. Now we're going to do the division. So 9 plus 3 and 12 equals 12. So we found where the parentheses needed to go. Likewise, I want to look at this first one on the left-hand side, or on the bottom row. And I know division's already going to happen first. So if mentally we're going to have 4 divided by 2, that's a 2. So 10 minus 2 is 8. 8 plus 2 is back to 10. So that's not correct. So the way it's written is not equal to 7. So we want to force something to happen first. And in this case, I'm going to have the 2 and the 4 be added together. So now I have 10 minus the 4 and the 2 is now 6 divided by 2. We have 10 minus 6 divided by 2, which is 3. 10 minus 3, 7 equals 7. So on the next page, we're looking at finding errors in a simplification. So this student had this. So keep in mind that this is our original problem and there's never an error in the original line because that's what's given to us. So there's no error here. So we're going to want to look at the next line. We see that there are grouping symbols. So 8 minus 6 is 2. And then they just wrote down the rest of it. Next would be exponents, which is 4. But they also, looks like that they also multiplied the 10 and the 2 in the same line, which is okay to do as long as we're doing this correctly. But what should have happened first is the division. So we circle the 20 as being incorrect, and we simply say that multiplication was done before division. Right? But then we check, they brought down the 3 and they brought down the 15. So then we move to the next line. 4 divided by 20 is 0.2. This is correct, even though the 20 is incorrect, but we're just looking from line to line. And then we have subtraction, 3, it looks like they, again, here, we ignored the subtraction sign, and so we added before subtraction. All right, so I'm going to look at this problem at the very bottom, the very last problem. And we have parentheses here, so 4 plus 1 is 5. And it looks like, so it didn't look like they brought everything down. They brought the 6 down, so something happened here. And it looks like what they did is they divided. So looks like they tried to divide before they dealt with the exponents. So what we're going to do is we're going to circle just the 4 as best we can here. And then over here, I'm going to say that we divided before exponents. All right, and then check the next line. So 7 times 5 is 35. Bring down the subtraction sign. 4 times 4, 4 squared is in fact 16 plus 6. And then, looks like we decided in this problem again to ignore the subtraction sign, which happens first. And so the error here this time is the 22. And we know that they, oops, not sure why those are disappearing. Let's see. We, so we added, let's see if this holds on, before subtraction. And I can't get that arrow to say, oh, there we go. All right. So that's how we review other people's work or even your own work to identify errors. So we didn't notice that we didn't redo the problem for them, or we just simply made notation so the student that goes back and looks at it, or when you go back and look at your work from things that I may put on your papers when I grade them, then you can go back and try and figure, and you can ask questions or figure out what went wrong by reviewing your work or other students' work.